Comic books, a magazine that presents a serialized story in the form of a comic strip, typically featuring the adventures of a superhero. A great example of comics would be something like Superman comics or Spider-Man comics, where the writers in both comics for some reason like taking their anger out on the characters for some reason. I mean, imagine bullying Spider-Man after getting a divorce. However, besides superhero comics, there are other comics that present entirely different genres. You got your Star Wars comics, your independent comics, your fan fiction. Oh Christ, where do I start? Look, the best way I can describe fan comics is hit or miss. On some cases, the comics can be really cool. Sometimes they can be cringe and make you have to say, can't let the homies I fuck with this shit. And sometimes they're made by a pedophile. And in this case, I'll be talking about Sonic Execution, a fan comic of the Sonic franchise mixed with the Creepypasta community, specifically Sonic.exe. If you don't know what that is, then first of all, how long have you been sleeping under a rock? And please let me join you. I am tired of this anal licking world. Now, there are probably a few questions you're asking yourself. Why am I making a video essay about a comic and this one specifically? And two, is this an excuse to make a video essay? And to that I answer because it's honestly rare for me to tell the difference between good media and bad media, because my thought process always goes like, I had fun reading or watching this, and I am grateful I spent my time on this media per se. And so you can tell this is an exception, and yes, this is an excuse to make a video essay.
Alrighty y'all, no insane intro today, you know what I mean?
I won't summarize the comic, but honestly you won't be missing out on all that much, and you'll find out why. I'm not that big of a literary literacy book read connoisseur, so I'm going to be critiquing this comic from a reader's standpoint rather than Shakespeare. I mean, shit, I guess the art style's good. The art itself carries almost the entire comic. There are some really cool drawings in this whole comic series. I mean, I tried looking through its building sources on Wikipedia and Twitter posts for any background information I've either missed in the comic or were just straight up not mentioned to find any more fun facts for you, but I guess not. Okay, so not a major spoiler, but I will summarize the plot of the 5 issues. The first comic is about the destruction of the Sonic.exe universe and Fleetway Sonic having to pair up against multiple EXEs that are probably written by people that only care about Reddit karma. The next comic is just more fighting with EXEs and Fleetway. Also, MF Doom makes an appearance here. The third and fourth comics are prequel comics about Lord X and Starved Eggman, and the fifth and final comic is the destruction of the IDW timeline. One of my first critiques are the continuities of these comics. The best way I can describe the way these comics go is by watching Infinity War first, then Age of Ultron, and then you read the first Iron Man comic, and then Avatar. I genuinely don't know why the comic takes this direction. I might sound harsh here, but I don't think the writers were fucked enough to care about writing a good comic, because this comic is made out of Wikipedia articles and YouTube shorts. Along with the continuity being bumpy, the writing is practically non-existent. This is because the story relies on your knowledge of the Sonic and EXE lore, so it has an excuse to show literally nothing but fight scenes. I will now go over what you need to know to comprehend what is even happening and who the characters are and for why their decisions are meant to be impactful and meaningful. First, you have to read the entirety of the Sonic IDW comic series along with the UK comics. Make sure you know what an EXE is, and if you don't know what it is, backtrack to Creepypastas. And after that, a cancel Friday Night Funkin'. You can't be fucking serious.
Stojane.
Moli, Mickey.
Jel sapunjaš mačora?
And finally, power scaling. Now hold on. I know, this is a rather messy topic. Trust me, I've seen it firsthand by discovering what prep time was. If you don't know what power scaling is, it's basically the method of determining a character's power through comparing them to other characters in their series, or other series entirely. Now that sounds all fine and dandy, but the community surrounding it is not fine and dandy. But I won't dwell on it too much, since, to sum it up shortly, it's basically a game that's taken too seriously by some bad apples in the community. If you do power scaling for fun, you're fine. Now while I don't really partake in power scaling Usually, I'm going to have to make an exception for this one because ain't no fucking way. Super Shadow uses Chaos Blast. Base Shadow is already busted as fuck, need I remind you. Blaster 2 planets against this EXE uses his entire power, and this bootlicking, good-for-nothing hunchback made out of lean crystals somehow survives that. The EXE I'm talking about is known as Xenophase, a character which originates from my Friday Night Funkin' mod. A blue-haired bitch beated this cunt in a rap battle and gets rage baited the entire game. You have to be joking! Now, because it is power scaling, I know what you're going to bring up. The famous Stan Lee saying, it's the author's choice. If I want Optimus Prime to win against Unicron, then I'll make him win against Unicron. Now, I completely agree with this. However, in order to make him win against Unicron, it has to make sense. For example, if you put Optimus and Unicron face to face, then yeah, Optimus is gonna get fucking obliterated. But what Optimus is going to do is ask for help. Call in assistance, call in backup, call in the entire Autobots. Maybe he would poison the next planet Unicron is going to eat. I don't know. The point I'm trying to make here is that if you want a character to win, you have to make his win believable. This overall makes the character grow exponentially, and it really shows you how Optimus managed to deal with such a difficult problem. Last I checked, Xenophase was already pretty banged up after he got uppercutted by Knuckles. Dude, if Knuckles so much as touches you in an intent to harm you, you bet your swift BP will end up in the ER.
Oh my god, we're doomed!
The way this comic kills off characters is next level usage of shock value. It's like that one SpongeBob creepypasta where they straight up just use Steven Hillenburg's death as shock value. Yes, that's real. I mean, they killed 3 of my goats from the IDW continuity, that being Espio, Omega, and Metal Sonic. Again, this is because the comic relies on prior knowledge of Sonic IDW, of which I have. And to tell you from the bottom of my heart, when those 3 characters died, the impacts of their death lasted about 5 seconds. 5.5, but that's me being generous.
I don't understand a thing in this game, bro. This game has done nothing but just confuse me, bro. You know what I'm saying? I just don't understand what's going on.
So is this comic really that bad? Well, yeah, but it's not to the point where you'd make a video essay out of it. Unless you're like me, that yeah, it was that bad. While I did critique this comic to hell and back, I'm sure the creators can bounce back and make this comic magnificent. Oh wait, never mind, they canceled it.
I am for real, never meant to make my booty shit. I apologize, I shit my pants. I shitted in my pants. I am for real, never meant to make my booty shit. I apologize, I shit my pants.